Hey you guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can be notified when I go live or if I upload a new video, and please like this video. I wanted to try to go live earlier, but I figured, it's getting pretty late, so I'll just go ahead and upload a video. But I wanted to come on and address, the fact that some of the comments are still getting deleted. I do apologize for that. Uh, it just seems like anytime you say anything about Velvet, and if she feels some type of way, it gets reported, and I do apologize. Um, I'm still trying to see what I can do about that, but I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. But I am trying. Um, I wanted to come on and talk about True and Sheba, who now go by Aaron and Kendra. Now, after Aaron left the tribe, I messaged him and asked him why he left the tribe. I asked him if he would like to come on and do an interview and give his side on why he left the carbonation. But he basically went MIA. Nobody was hearing from True. He wasn't responding to anybody. He certainly wasn't responding to Kendra. Now, it wasn't until this morning that he finally replied. And this is now that because he's starting to come out. He's starting to come back into public. And he did reply. He did say that he would get back with me at a later time for an interview. And I had noticed that he did an interview with someone else. I think it was yesterday. And which is fine. I mean, as long as you're doing it with somebody you're comfortable with, and as long as you're able to get out everything of how you feel in that interview, that's all that matters. So good, I'm happy that he was able to do that. I would love to have him come on, him and Kendra and Baby Jaw, and give us an update, at a later time, and just let us know how they're doing if, he's interested in doing that. But yeah, he did the interview with Kendra. I did tell you guys that I had a feeling that he'd be back with Kendra and his baby. So I've been so happy all day. But in this interview, I feel like they got a lot of what was on their heart. They got to say a lot. Aaron said that, he'd been looking up information on cults, and before leaving the tribe, he had really put a lot of thinking into the decision to leave carbonation. He said that he decided not to trust anybody, not even Kendra, because it was just something he needed to do for himself. And he knew that Kendra was not going to do anything that she did not want to do, and that, if she was not ready, that you can't, and just like with him, he said that nobody could talk him out of it until he was ready. So up until he left, he had been in contact with Kendra. He would call, check on the baby, they would talk, so and so, or you know what I mean. They would be in communication up until the moment that he left the tribe. And then at that point, all communication between Kendra and True stopped. So he said that When he left, his intentions were basically just to take his check and leave and go off grid, maybe leave the country. He said that he was not financially responsible for grown, able-bodied women. He said he didn't think Kendra would leave the tribe, but he felt like he needed to do this. Now, when I'm telling you guys about this interview, I'm giving you my points on how I took things, and I'm not telling you word for word what was said, and you would have to go and look at the interview yourself to hear what was said. I'm only giving you an overview. So yeah, basically, like I said, all communication stopped between Kendra and Aaron. So when he left, when the wives called Kendra, they asked her, have you seen or heard from him? And she thought, well, that's weird. We'd been talking, and now, I hadn't heard from him for a little while now. But she did tell them she'd been talking to him on the phone, but then the call stopped when he left the tribe. So when she heard that he was basically missing, Kendra became afraid for him. For all she knew, he could be lying somewhere in a ditch. He could be in the hospital. Something could be going majorly wrong with her husband. Kendra said she was extremely worried about him and said that the wives and Nature Boy were only worried about the money. Kendra said she went through a very dark time, not knowing if he was hurt. She said that at one point that Nature Boy called her and said, "Oh, since your husband is gone, I guess that makes you my wife now." And she said that really got to her. And that's pretty much when she realized that none of these people care. They don't care about her husband. They don't care if he could be out there hurt or in a hospital or laying in a ditch. And she said that she was going through so much in her mind. She said that in her mind that she was preparing herself to have to raise her child alone. And she said that she would not have to have her husband with her anymore. And she said that terrified her, and she was afraid, and she was extremely worried about him. She said, "This is my husband. I'm afraid for that something is wrong," and he's went missing. And she said that all they cared about was the money. And she said that she started to kind of wake up. So Kendra told him, she was like, "We don't even like each other? What do you mean?" She said that when she was on the phone with Nature Boy, that she was questioning him and starting to use her brain to think and to question him. And she said that he knew that she was beginning to change, because he asked her, he was like, "What is wrong with you? Like, what's up with you?" And she said that she hung up on him. Now, going back to Aaron. Now, keep in mind that Kendra's still worried. She still has not heard from Aaron. She's waking up to the tribe. She's realizing These people never cared about him. These people never cared about me. So at the same time that Erin was waking up, she also started to look into cults and brainwashing and reading up on this, and it dawned on her, this is what's wrong with me. This is what happened to me. And Aaron said he didn't know if Kendra was still for Nature Boy, and he knew that if she was, that he wouldn't be able to talk her into coming with him. But he did say, he said, I have to give it a try. I have to try. And so he made that decision to call her. And at that moment that he decided to call her, Kendra said that she didn't know that number that was calling, but she knew it was him. She knew it was him. And she was so happy. She picked up the phone. And at that very moment that they heard each other's voices, they just knew. They both just told each other how good it was to hear each other's voices. Before they decided to do the interview, they basically took this time. They took all these days and these weeks to work on themselves. They stayed up late at night talking to each other for hours upon hours upon hours, basically trying to process everything that they had experienced. They started reading up on cults, doing research to better understand what had happened to them. And they both pretty much made a pact to allow each other time to heal. Like if one of them was going through something, the other one is going to allow that person to go through it and just heal, take the time, that they need. Kendra said that as she was looking through everything, that when it dawned on her that she had been brainwashed, she said that it was so weird. She said that she went in and asked her mom, do you know I was brainwashed? And her mom said back to her, yes, I knew that, but I was waiting on you to know that. In this interview, and this is one thing that really stood out to me, that each one of them took accountability for their actions, and Aaron even admitted to what he did to Kendra and also to some of the other tribe members. And I think it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength. And it takes a real man and it takes a real woman to take responsibility, accountability, and in my opinion, I believe they're doing absolutely every single thing right. And I'm so proud of them. But because they are just waking up and being deprogrammed, they will begin to remember things they did to each other and to others. And I pray when that happens that they forgive themselves. Because, that is, we all know that's one of the first steps in healing, is taking accountability for your actions. And they're both doing that. But then also being able to forgive yourself and forgive others. And forgiving yourself will be one of the hardest parts, because, it is not an easy thing to forgive yourself. It's not an easy thing to even forgive somebody else, let alone try to forgive yourself. But once they do, don't allow Satan to keep reminding you. And don't allow other people to keep taking you back in time to remind you of things that had happened and things you did. When you see somebody saying, oh, well, you did this or you did that, just pay them no mind. Because if you actually listen to them, you're gonna be right back at square one. You have to, once you forgive, you gotta just let it go. You don't forget. You don't dwell on it. But you don't dwell on it, and you don't continue to relive in the past. Forgiveness is about moving on. So yeah, just always remember when that happens, that you have forgiven yourself and each other. Kendra said she was talking about going to therapy. I think that is a great thing for her to do. I think that it would be great for Aaron to also do the same thing. I think marriage counseling would really help them out a lot. But if I could give them a message, my message for them is this. After everything your marriage has been through, you may be tempted to be angry with each other, or to go back and rehash something that had happened in the past. But you have got to make a promise to each other never to use that against each other. Never use the past against each other from this moment on. Nature Boy put your marriage through pure hell. So when you feel like giving up, remember the love you have. Remember how strong you both are, because look at you now. After all of that, you've walked through hell, holding each other's hands, right out of hell. Marriage is a sacred thing. So take your vows and take each other serious from this point on. And my message to Nature Boy: did you and Satan really believe you could divide this union? Did you really think you could steal the light from these individuals? Did you really think that what you did to that little boy was okay? Because of the damage you caused this couple and many others, I could go on and on. naming everybody that you've hurt. But they now have to work through what you did. But when I look at this beautiful family, I finally feel at peace that they're going to be okay. When I look at these photos of this couple, I see a happy family. I see a couple that really want to make their marriage work. But I see how Nature Boy saw how happy they were and just couldn't stand the fact that they were happy. If he's miserable, they're all going to be miserable. And their marriage has been through a lot. But I think that after everything that it's been through, and they're still here through it all, I think they're going to be fine. And I think that we should be very happy that they will never again, that Baby Jaw will never have to ever look at Nature Boy again. Never. And that's what makes me so happy. And I am so happy for them. And I would like to ask that you guys keep them in your prayers. Ask God to keep his hands over their marriage and to bless their marriage and to let them be okay. Let them get the help they need. And, now right now is when the hard work begins. The healing is not going to be easy, but they're on the right path because they took that first step in acknowledging that what some of the things that they did was not right, and they were responsible for that. And now it's time for them. The next step is self-forgiveness and to forgive each other. But, like I said, that forgiveness is the hardest part, because you have to be at that point where if you truly forgive, you have got to let it go, and you cannot bring it up in your marriage ever again. From that moment on, you move on in your marriage. So leave in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Please pray for them. Pray for the Baby Jaw. He's got his parents back, but they all have a lot of work to do. God bless you guys. Have a great night. I do want to say one more thing before I wrap this thing up. I appreciate you guys working with me on this video. I have not been feeling too good. My throat's been hurting. So I did try to get through it, and I'm very sorry if I was, if my voice is off. But I do want to mention something about Aaron, in that he did say in the interview that the only reason that he's even coming out public now is because he wants to be a voice for other people who are stuck in these cults and or stuck in a bad situation. And I think that is a very good thing for him to do. I think that, I had always said that he does have a voice. He's got a voice that could move people if he would just use his voice for good. And I think that this is the perfect thing for him, a perfect, I think he could help a lot of people. And so I, I hope that he has a lot of success in that and being able to help draw people out of these cults and just, be that voice for them. So with that being said, God bless you guys. Leave in the comment section. Let me know what you all think.
We on an ultralight beam. This is a God dream. This is a God dream. This is everything. I'm trying to keep my faith. Somewhere I can feel safe. And in this holy war, I'm trying to keep my faith. We on the ultralight beam.